Let's talk about Kyler Murray and Eric Burkhart kind of, publicly shaming the Cardinals almost into giving him a new deal with 2 years left on his contract. With that being said, I hope Kyler gets all the money in the world. I hope every player gets $1 billion, okay? This is interesting business, though, to go about doing it this way. I think in the NFL, the way it is, but maybe this will lay a new blueprint on how to get more money if you're a star player. How do you feel like this works out, and what do you think's going on in Arizona?
There's so many interesting pieces to this. I love breaking it down with you and your audience. So here's the first interesting piece. Kyler does this Monday morning as everyone's flying into the combine. Guess who's speaking Tuesday to the media and can't get out of it? Steve Keim, the general manager of the Cardinals. So by putting this thing out there on a Monday, you set the agenda for the topics. And it's not just going to be the 5 beat writers in Arizona and the 4 local radio hosts. Now it becomes the national story. It might become the national media availability. It's 20 minutes of grilling him on Kyler's contract. It puts him in a corner. Second part that's interesting with this, very often when we go through this, and I'm often a subject of the text, it's, hey, just FYI, my player is 24 years old, is coming off, 2 Pro Bowl seasons, and you should mention that on air on Good Morning Football when you're talking about his contract situation.
Whoa.
Eric Burkhart skips over the Schrager, skips over the Schefter, skips over the Glazer, skips over the Garofolo and the Rappaport, and goes right there publicly and says, my client is 24 years old, is a 2-time Pro Bowler, and has taken a team from 3 wins to an 11-win season, and the first time they're in the playoffs since before he got there. It's a public salvo that we have not seen often. The last and final piece that makes this very interesting, he's represented by Eric Burkhart. Burkhart's a great agent, one of the top guys, is good at what he does. Number one client is Kyler Murray. If Kyler Murray gets paid $40 million deal, that's a major payday for Eric Burkhart. Eric Burkhart's other big client, ironically enough, the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury. So I don't know where Cliff stands in all of this, and I hopefully will see Cliff this week and we'll get some answers. But you want to talk about, all right, you've got the Goodwill. You've got the general manager, Keim. You've got Kingsbury, the head coach, represented by one agent. You've got Kyler, the quarterback, represented by the same agent. The agent is taking open swings at the ownership group for being frugal, or they don't like the way that they're doing. Like, this is really interesting stuff, and there's a lot of people involved, a lot of personalities involved, and I'm really curious to see how it all goes down. Basically, it's pay him his money, or trade him, and someone else will, because I've said this before, someone will pay Kyler Murray what he's looking for, and if the Cardinals aren't that team, the agent is basically saying, I don't want to drag this out. He's putting some heat on them. Let's make a move. Let's do it now.
Burkhart just yammed on ownership over there. This has to tie back to now it's alleged. It's alleged. Remember?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's all alleged. We don't know. Everybody has their sources. Everybody has different information. They're hearing different things. The playoff bonus, the playoff check for the coaches, there was allegedly a decision potentially made. I don't know what the outcome of that was. I do not know what the outcome of that was. Heard it was an interesting conversation, though, dialogue. Okay, well, I'll just say what I was told then from my sources. Sources told me that originally the owner was not going to pay the coaches their playoff checks because they didn't win. Now, I did not know this was the case. All players are guaranteed those playoff checks. I guess the coaches in the contract, it is at the owner's discretion in the contract. It actually says that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. So allegedly they were not going to get their playoff checks because of how it all ended and how upset the owner was. And the media was reporting, of course he'd be upset. Would you not be upset? Yeah, we would be upset also if I didn't get the fucking money I thought I was getting as well. So if this guy represents Cliff Kingsbury, who Cliff would be the one that would be pissed off about his guys not getting their check. And he represents Kyler. Oh my, this dude, hey, you don't want to pay, you don't want to play, no worries, just like $15,000, $20,000 for each coach. You don't want to pay that because you're bad? Okay, how about this? We want fucking $50 million a year. That is wild. That could be what happened. That legitimately could be what happened.
I don't know.
Shrek!
Come on, Pete.
This Kyler Murray, basically from the desk of Kyler Murray via Eric Burkhart, his agent. That whole story got more fascinating this morning when we learned that he represents Cliff Kingsbury as well. And allegedly, our sources had told us there was maybe some coaching beef going on with ownership. So Burkhardt comes in and literally yams on the Arizona Cardinals the day before Steve Keim has to talk tomorrow, basically saying, hey, get a long-term deal for Kyler. He's got 2 years left on his contract, his rookie contract. Get a deal done or else. Wild business play. He might get paid. This might set a whole new blueprint for the future. What are your thoughts on it all?
It is pretty interesting, the fact that agent represents the head coach and the starting quarterback. But I instantly started thinking, all right, did Cliff know this was coming out before he put it out?
Well,
like, do you think Cliff was okay with it? Cliff, like, all right, hey, man, like, is it Cliff and Kyler versus the front office? Is that what we're looking at here?
Well, I don't want to say that's what I'm alluding towards, but I think
I'm saying it does. It is very interesting when you lay it out that way, saying how, oh, wait, they allegedly didn't get these playoff bonuses to the coaches. All of this happens. I don't know. It's going to be a fun next couple, 10 to 14 days, I guess, to see how they handle it.
The NFL is full of so much shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is just so much real shit. You know, I started watching Succession a little bit.
Yes.
I've only seen a couple episodes.
Okay.
I've gotten into it. Just all that shit that just happens, it seems like. Man, the NFL is so full of shit.
Yeah.
This story is a massive story. This could change the way future. Mac Jones, Joey Burrow, numerous quarterbacks that come in and have early success saying, nah, I ain't waiting for my free. You're going to pay me now. And with the way the salary cap gymnastics can work, they're paying Patrick Mahomes $500 million over the next 10 years, and somehow his salary cap hit is less than the punter on the team. There's like very interesting situations happening with the salary cap gymnastics. And if you're a young, great quarterback, I could see how business-wise it makes sense to take advantage of it. But this one in Arizona just seems so fascinating with all the layers of shit, AJ.
Well, the very last paragraph, was that a threat to the Cardinals that if you don't extend me, I'm not going to be here?
It kind of, I mean, let's go to it. It's going to be hard to read here from the screen because it was tough to read on my phone. I'm not a good reader, too. Everybody knows that. Not a great reader. I'm not a great reader, so I'm not 100% sure. Here we go, yeah. How this was the proper way to let this one go. Zoom out, yeah. I don't know how this was what they decided upon.
Yeah.
Notes section screenshot.
Yeah.
Much more legible than this thing, but this does look super professional because of the letterhead at the bottom. It is now simply up to the Cardinals to decide if they prioritize their rapidly improving 24-year-old, already two-time Pro Bowl quarterback who led the organization from 2 wins before his arrival to 11 wins in their first playoff appearance in 5 years. Or rather, if they choose to financially prioritize commitment to other areas and continuing to merely talk about addressing Kyler's long-term future as their QB. Unfortunately, every player, coach, and executive in the NFL knows, parenthesis, or should know, that words and hypothetical contractual promises are regularly dismissed and fleeting in this business. Kyler remains hopeful that the organization chooses to commit I don't understand how I'm reading that, by the way. I've read that wrong. Kyler remains hopeful that the organization chooses to commit so that he can. Am I reading that wrong?
A spelling mistake, right?
I think it's a
double O.
Should be choose.
For choose.
Yeah, choose. Should be choose.
Chooses. Should be another O in there.
I said that last hour. I said it the first time I read it, but once again, I'm a doofus. So I just assume this guy that did this entire thing asking for, multiple hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Kyler remains hopeful that the organization chooses to commit so that he can continue leading the car. I don't think so. I think it's supposed to be chooses there.
Yeah, for sure.
Kyler remains hopeful that the organization chooses to commit so that he can continue. Oh, 1-0 in the end.
That's tough.
Interesting.
Oh, my God. That is
Subliminal message.
It's tough. It's tough to see. It makes you. I don't know. It makes you not think it's an error because it looks so professional. And this is there's certain areas are bold. There's a letterhead, the picture of Kyler. makes you think, like, wouldn't you run this by a few people?
Oh, this is not 100, probably like $300 to $400 million negotiating tactic. You spell a word wrong. Can't
do it.
CFO Phil would have spit on this into
He would have immediately.
See, it would have so quick. All right.
So what happens if they don't sign him to a long-term deal in the next 3 months?
So he's not playing, right? He's going to baseball. He's picking up a baseball bat. They don't have a league.
Yeah.
Arizona knows he's going. Well, he's still got face cleared. Still got face clean if he wants to. I assume he's made enough money at this point. Will continue to make enough money off the field if he wants to. I don't know. Is that what he's thinking?